Coming to you live once again, it's your boy Wex breaking the Lawson with another AEW Dynamite review this week, November 17th, 2020 episode. I want you to like, subscribe, share the video, tell all your buddies about it. Watch you some wrestling, watch me review some wrestling. We're gonna have some new other content coming to you soon, some other videos that aren't AEW Dynamite reviews, so just be looking out. Got some new additions, Speaking of these new additions to my little collection, the first match of the night starts off with your boys right here, Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks, taking on the new young team, Top Flight, and they cut a little promo package before basically explaining Top Flight, their little rise to the top, the shit they've been doing on the indies. They used to wear a lucha mask, it looks like. They name dropped the Young Bucks and the Motor City Machine Guns as two of their most biggest influences in tag team wrestling, and they put on a hell of a fucking match tonight. And everything started off hot. These young guys were doing some very nice double team spots, just doing flipping everything. Dante Martin, goddamn, that dude's got some ups. He was just jumping up so gracefully, like he was just floating in the air. Top Flight seemed to take control early. They were hitting basically everything, showing all their offense off to everybody on live TV for the first time, but then the Young Bucks eventually took control. I really thought the Young Bucks were going to hit the Meltzer driver. Like, they haven't hit one in a long time, and they teased it, but they, again, did not hit it tonight.
Why?
I don't know, they just have it, like, someone always stops them from hitting it every time. The private party roll-up that we've been having the past couple of weeks. I don't know, I want to see the Meltzer driver, but maybe it has something to do with the injury, he's not doing it, I don't know.
You heard it here, Young Bucks. God damn it. Wex wants it.
And then, right after that, they go into their next classic signature move, more bang for your buck, but Dante Martin reverses up into a little roll-up pin, but the Bucks kick out. And that didn't seem to be enough because the inevitable happened. The Young Bucks, BTE trigger, 1, 2, 3, they take the win against Top Flight. I thought this was a solid match, a very good showing for Top Flight. I've never really seen them wrestle much before besides a few clips here or there, but this was a fantastic match. I really think these guys got a lot of upside. And then right after the match, TH2, the Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico started beating them down. It's going to set up the next feud for Top Flight going forward in AEW. After last week, there was going to be much anticipation what the Inner Circle was going to do in Vegas, and there was a little two-part segment, and we got the first part of that segment right here, and included a few little bits.
Little bits and pieces, wasn't it?
The Inner Circle in Vegas started off, you know, them having fun, gambling in the casino, then MJF and Chris Jericho trying to one each other up on drinking, and then Conan pulls up in the limo. We get a brief little LAX reunion, and he decides he's going to bake it out with the boys. He said he's got some of the funkiest dank up in Las Vegas, and the boys take some to the dome. They get a little stony.
Judas in my line, I'm coming.
And then basically Jake Hager and Wardlow start whipping some random dude's ass as we go on to the next segment. We get a little teaser trailer for Boundless, the history of a revolution, a little AEW thing. They said it's going to be air on network TV. JR was really hype about it. Looks pretty cool, filmed really well. Looks like it might be fun. Who knows? Could be shit. Could be good. Next up, your boy Jonathan Moxley cut a good guy promo. He just kept talking about how he's a good guy, how his dad whipped his ass, how he was an asshole, and he briefly dropped that his wife was pregnant, and that how he basically doesn't give a fuck, he's ready for Kenny Omega.
We're gonna have little Moxleys running around, little Johnnies.
So that means every member of the Shield is now has a child or is going to have a baby.
What are those called?
The worst STD, a child?
18 years of hell.
God bless. All right, the next match of the night, we got your boy Orange Cassidy taking on Kip Sabian, accompanied by Miro, who went down to commentary to cut his little 2 cents in this match. And of course, you know, Miro started off talking shit, getting everybody a little bit riled up on the commentary booth. And basically, the whole story of this match is Kip Sabian would not let Orange Cassidy put his hands into his pockets, no matter what he did. Either one hand, both hands, he would flip them up, tie them up, wrap them up. He would not let him get his hands into his pockets. Of course, he eventually did get his hands in his pockets, and he took control. And then towards the end of the match, Kip Sabian set him up for that hangman neck breaker, swinging hangman neck. I cannot fucking talk.
Damn it!
Kip Sabian set him up on the third rope for the hanging neck breaker. He reversed into the mousetrap pin, roll up, 1, 2, 3, Orange Cassidy gets the win. But that's not it. Miro sees that happening. He's like, oh, fuck that shit. He runs full speed down to the ramp and fucking decapitates Orange Cassidy after the match. Next up, we get an old reference from like a couple years ago, Winter is Coming. I think that was from the Game of Thrones show. I never watched it, so I don't know if that makes me an asshole or whatever, but I know the reference. It's gonna be the contract signing between the cleaner Kenny Omega and the current current AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. They put over big on commentary how they're both undefeated at this point in singles competition in 2020 in AEW. So Kenny Omega heads down to the ring, continuing the pompous heel entrance he's had going for the past couple weeks. Justin Roberts did his classic little thing, racking off all of Kenny's accolades, his new recent accolades, and of course, that little bit about North Carolina. Once again, remember that, folks, remember that. But then a camera cuts to backstage and we see that Jon Moxley is laid out bloody, bleeding from the nose, and Kenny Omega looks and he's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna sign this anyways, and I'm gonna be there, and you better be there, Jon Moxley. You're not gonna get out of this one this time. Last time it was your elbow, this time it's your nose. Fuck that. I'm gonna whoop your ass, basically. He kept it kosher. I'm gonna fuck you up, but he didn't say fuck you up. He didn't go full cleaner yet. He didn't go full New Japan post-match interview. They should just fucking cuss and just say whatever the fuck they wanted all the time. It was great. And now we get the Inner Circle in Vegas, part 2, baby. It starts off basically with them drunk, howling on the roof with Elvis. I guess he's the newest member of the Inner Circle now. Or some form of Elvis. Some guy looks like Elvis, at least. And then we get this weird version of the Hangover skit with a bunch of, like, little bullshit from, like, the movie, but kind of not like the movie, but, you know, that type of bullshit. You know, Sammy had shit written on his face, and then somebody was out there doing some bullshit, and then you heard a baby crying, they opened the door, and it ended with Hornswoggle in a diaper. I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was funny. I laughed. It was good. And up next, we got the long-awaited return after 8 months in isolation, the bastard Pac taking on the blade of Eddie Kingston's family. We get Eddie Kingston on commentary for this match, and you know he's just going to be talking shit the whole time, and he's jawing it up with Shivani, jawing it up with JR, just jawing it up with anybody he can jaw it with. Pac runs to the ring just looking pissed off, and he starts the match off pissed off, just full of steam. Shotgun dropkick right from the get-go, and he just laid into it, and he just didn't let up. The offense kept going heavy and fast and hard. And while Pac's beating the shit out of the Blade, he gets distracted by the Butcher, then the Blade briefly takes over. The Bunny kept trying to get involved in it, she kept making her presence known throughout the entire match. But the Bunny was not enough. Pac eventually took control again, went to the top rope, hesitated for a minute, did not do the Black Arrow, he actually hit a shooting star press, then quickly locked in the Brutalizer before the Blade had no choice but to tap. Pac takes the submission victory. My name is Pac. No, he's... I'm the bastard Pac! There you go. There was a minor little ring rust botch. It was a springboard DDT attempt, but I think it might have been more the Blade's fault than it was Pac's, than it was Pac's. But then after the match, Eddie Kingston runs down to the ring, the Butcher, the Blade, Eddie Kingston start whooping Pac's ass, to start laying into it. Then Phoenix runs down for the save. He jumps in, kicks him, and then they start whooping his ass too, just laying into him. And then Pentagon, Penta El Cero Miedo, comes down to the ring with a chair, and we don't know who is he gonna hit. Eddie's telling him to hit his brother. Eddie's telling him to hit Pac. He's like, no, but then he swings the fucking chair at Eddie. They clear the ring. Death Triangle reforms. Pac, Phoenix, Penta El Cero Miedo stand tall as AEW Dynamite goes off the air. No, fuck. They did not go off the air. Why did I say that? This is when I fell asleep last night and I had to watch the rest of it in the morning. Up next, we cut to the backstage area where Jade Cargill from last week's Cody segment with the whole Shaq Little Peck thing, remember that? She's got Brandy's arm in a chair, basically setting her up to Pillmanize her, and just starts laying into it, and you got Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero stopping all the rest from joining in. So the plot thickens. There's another layer to the story. Little Peck, broken arm. After a new women's feud in the backstage, we continue to a women's match in the ring, but this time it's going to be a title match for the NWA World's Women Championship. Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa. This is a rematch from 2 or 3 weeks ago where Serena Deeb won the belt from Thunder Rosa. This was a fantastic match. Rosa took control early with lots of good submissions and mat-based moves and reversals, but then Serena Deeb took control right back, and it was just sort of back and forth. No one seemed to be able to gain control, but they were just reversing everything, countering everything. They seemed to have an answer for everything each other did. Very hard stiff strikes. They were just laying into each other. But just as things start heating up, we get a distraction from Reba in the crowd on the outside. She runs to the ring, starts jabbing at the ref, and Britt Baker runs down and attacks Thunder Rosa where the ref can't see it. She gives her a swinging neck breaker onto the fucking stage. I bet that feels like shit. But even after the distraction, the neck breaker, Thunder Rosa was still able to kick out of Serena Deeb's powerbomb. And after another long back and forth segment of more great counters and more great reversals, just amazing in-ring work from both of these women, the inevitable happened. Serena Deeb hit this almost Styles Clash facebuster type move without the risk of breaking your neck. for the 1-2-3, regaining her NWA Women's World Championship. But that wasn't it. Thunder Rosa did not forget about Britt Baker, and Britt Baker decides to pop up in the crowd. She runs out there and they just start whipping each other's ass. The refs can't seem to get control, and they basically just brawl forever until the segment goes off, until the next part, until the segment goes off. And I'm really liking this. We got a little feud build right before that. We got another feud after this. Is AEW actually doing some with the women's division? Because I sure fucking hope so. We need to get some shit. They might be popping off. And we got broken arms, little pecs, Thunder Rosas, dentists, doctors, everything. And speaking of the women's division, we cut backstage with the main meat man, John Silver, and Anna Jay of the Dark Order. Anna Jay's been racking up the wins as of late, and she's the 5th-ranked competitor in the AEW women's division, so Mr. Brody Lee says he demanded that TK give her a title shot, and TK, I guess, said alright. Anna Jay then says, Hikaru Shida, I'm no longer a rookie like the last time we had him each other. The Dark Order's helped groom me, helped grow me. I'm a much better, stronger competitor now, and you're gonna feel it. And John Silver says that they're gonna bring home some gold for the Dark Order, baby. Alright, we got a lot of super kicks. Oh, fuck. And for your main event of the evening, we got Team Tazz, Brian Cage, and Absolute Ricky Starks taking on Darby Allin, your new TNT champion, and the American Nightmare, Mr. Pompous Cocky Ass himself, Cody, now known as Rhodes again, because he won his name back. And right before the match, we got a nice little vignette promo filmed by our boy Mac Daddy Yoder that featured Darby Allin in a church setting himself on fire with a skateboard. You know, some nice little creepy gothic skateboard punk rock type shit. But again, shout out to Mac Daddy Max Yoder for that segment. And somehow Cody's entrance got even more pompous and cockier than last week. He comes out after Darby. Darby gets the little promo, but Darby's the champion. Shouldn't Darby come out second? But nah, Cody's gotta have the fucking spotlight. Boom, extra pyro this time, extra fire. I could fucking tell. Like, dude, Cody, you are a goddamn heel! And you know who agreed with me? Tazz. Tazz kept talking on commentary the whole time about how Cody's just a fucking cocky ego, cocky. I guess I'm not the only one that notices this shit. This match was great. Darby is just so fast and impressive. Like, he just moves so quickly. I don't understand how someone can do that so quickly, still have so much force and impact with all of his strikes. But eventually, Team Tazz take control and they isolate Cody and they just start beating the dog shit out of him. They take him out and they fuck him up. Darby got the big hot tag, but eventually Cage took control, but then Darby reversed his power bomb into like the sunset flip, code red, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's a Japanese name that Excalibur always spurts off on commentary that I should know that I don't know, that JR is probably like, what the hell did you say? But it was for the near fall, only the 2 count. Even though I was very impressed with Darby Allin's speed, that speed could not overcome the fucking pure strength of the machine Brian Cage as he took him up to the top and hit him with the avalanche drill claw for the 1-2-3. Team Tazz, FTW, take the victory over Cody and Darby Allin. After the match, Team Tazz get in the ring and they just start beating the fuck out of Cody, start beating the fuck. Darby comes in, he can't save him, start beating him down. Then out of nowhere, we get Will Hobbs and he runs down to the ring with a chair, clears the ring. Everybody's looking around. He picks up Brian Cage's FTW title, holds it in the air, starts taunting him a little bit. But then out of nowhere, boom, he knocks Pompous Cody's ass straight to the ground with the FTW title, right in the dome. And we get the fucking super unexpected heel turn from Will Hobbs, joining Team Tazz as they stand tall to end the show, AEW Dynamite. They've been recruiting Will Hobbs for weeks, and I guess he finally decided, I guess I'm gonna join these motherfuckers. We're all a bunch of big buff dudes, and we're gonna whoop Cody's ass. I mean, that sounds like a good time. I love to whoop Cody's ass. He just looks fun to beat up. This week's episode of AEW Dynamite was fantastic. I loved it. It was less promo heavy like last week. Lots of matches, lots of storyline advancements, new feuds happening, multiple women's feuds. I mean, I really can't say anything bad about this show. It was great. We got a little comedy skit. We got a little bit of everything. This week's AEW Dynamite, I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 5 2 sweets.